If Dr. Alois Alzheimer was alive today, he could not offer any better treatment than what he knew in the beginning of the last century. There have been no disease-modifying drugs nor treatment therapy ever approved by the FDA in the US or any developed countries worldwide. Alzheimer's disease is the only major disease that cannot be prevented, stopped, or cured. There are more than 5.8 million people in the US and 48 million people worldwide have Alzheimer's disease in the year 2017. Alzheimer's disease is now become the third leading cause of death after heart disease and cancer in the US. More than 503,000 deaths per year within the US population over the age of 75 due to the Alzheimer's disease. Every minute passing by, at least one person dies of Alzheimer's disease in the US. This is a serious and fatal brain disease, not just a memory problem. The cost of care for Alzheimer's disease was $230 billion in the US alone in 2017. Estimated global costs of Alzheimer's disease in 2017 will be over $1 trillion. It is now more important and urgent than ever for researchers, academia, industry, government, and all stakeholders to work together at the national, regional, and global level to find solutions to advancing innovative medicines to those in need with greater speed and efficiency. Our question is, why don't we have any approved drug therapy for Alzheimer's disease? Over the past 25 years, all Alzheimer's drugs have failed in phase 3 clinical trials. There are many factors that new drugs fail. One common reason why all of these drugs fail is the way the new drugs were designed and what the drug target is in the first place. Most of the Alzheimer's drugs were designed to follow the amyloid cascade hypothesis, which postulates that accumulations of amyloid plaques trigger a cascade that harms neurons and synapses. In this approach, primary strategies were to target amyloid beta protein pathology, including decreasing of amyloid beta production, preventing aggregation of, and stimulate clearance of amyloid beta proteins. All immunotherapy drugs that were based on beta secretase, gamma secretase, and stimulators of alpha secretase unfortunately failed in phase 3 trials. To be effective, an Alzheimer's drug must have ability to cross the blood-brain barrier. Almost all failed drugs have poor ability to cross the blood-brain barrier. For example, papineuzumab, solanezumab have less than 2% of its molecules crossing the blood-brain barrier. In addition, all the failed drugs have serious side effect toxicity because they require a very large dose to get the drug's molecules passing the blood-brain barrier. Most of these drugs cause amyloid-related brain imaging abnormalities with edema, which is a brain swelling, a fatal condition for most patients. It normally takes 7 to 10 years for a chemical entity with good animal data to pass through phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 clinical trials, and finally to meet the stringent FDA requirement to get approved for marketing in the US. This long process explains why it takes many years for us to know if the drug development strategy works or not. Since 2001, my research team and I have been working diligently to find a new pathway. We do believe that Alzheimer's disease is a complex, multifactorial pathology, including multiple cycles and subcycles of cell-amplifying neurodegenerative processes. Even though in the US there are government fundings from the NIH, National Institute of Health, or NIA, National Institute of Aging. These fundings are distributed to many thousand researchers in universities working on basic science of Alzheimer's disease. There is a severe lack of funding to focus on later stage clinical research to accelerate drug development to reach the FDA approval standard. At the Alzheimer International Society, we have launched the initiative called United Front Against Alzheimer's. This is an initiative with the following objective: to collaborate on the development of prevention and drug treatment therapy for Alzheimer's, to accelerate the development of biomarkers and diagnostics, to harmonize and speed up the Alzheimer drug approval processes between regional and international clinical trial systems, to support the evidence-based dementia care practice, to mobilize resources to bring newly approved drugs to the market by 2025, to partner with the International Funds Against Alzheimer to raise up to $1 billion to fund clinical trials of new Alzheimer drugs with proof of safety and efficacy. The International Fund Against Alzheimer's is supported by a globally diverse group of institutional investors, including foundations, endowments, family practices, financial institutions, and pension funds. The fund will be capitalized in the amount of $1 billion to invest in the research and development of innovative approaches in Alzheimer's prevention and treatment drug therapy. The fund will be earmarked $200 million for early preclinical development and $800 million for the investment in several biopharmaceutical companies with promising proof of safety and efficacy. The fund expects at least one of its portfolio companies will successfully complete a phase 3 and will be among the first FDA-approved Alzheimer's drugs in the USA by 2025. In conclusion, today, Alzheimer's dementia is an incurable disease. Tomorrow is a new day. Let's work together to end Alzheimer's. Thank you very much.